there was a cheating scandal in Pogchamps. Day 2 saw Group B take up the round-robin section of the tournament. Filled with heavy hitters, it looked like it was going to be an incredible day to watch Pogchamps. But during Day 2, we saw something that nobody had on their bingo card. DrLupo, in his first game against Pokemon World Champion WolfeyVGC, was playing a little bit too perfect to go under the radar. From the first move of the first game until the end, apart from one critical blunder by DrLupo, was entirely perfect. For a little bit of context, DrLupo is around 600 rated on chess.com Rapid. That puts him in about the 50th percentile of players, so relatively respectable. WolfeyVGC, on the other hand, is around 1300 Rapid rating on chess.com, over double DrLupo's, and within the top 7% of the world. DrLupo, quite simply put, should lose every game Wolfey plays, unless he's asleep or drunk. This game was a major red flag in the tournament, and as soon as Day 2 wrapped, chess.com came out and they banned DrLupo's chess.com account and removed him from the tournament. DrLupo, after this, then posted this tweet here. To be entirely honest with you, I don't believe a word that he's said, and I don't see how any of it truly makes sense, as the stream itself wouldn't have the top engine moves available for him to see, and he would have had to intentionally pull up a game that he's playing. I don't see what he's actually trying to say in this, apart from to save his own skin. On top of this, he also didn't pull out of the tournament on his own accords. Instead, he was removed by chess.com. So much for keeping integrity. I have absolutely no idea how, one, you can claim that you accidentally pulled up a game that you were playing in with engine analysis in a charity tournament and did not turn it off, or didn't think to turn it off. Two, that you dropped out of the tournament to retain integrity. You got kicked out of the tournament. There's no integrity to be held here. And three, quite simply, nobody is that stupid. After the game, he got a few comments on his Twitch chat and, trying to defend himself, said the following.
People coming in saying that you cheated against the Wolf guy, okay? I got another guy on YouTube as well saying I cheated. What I missed? Who called Lupo a cheater? Probably Wolfie's chat. He said I looked at my left side every time before making a move. If you want, you can watch back through. That's fine, dude. People are saying he's looking at his left monitor. I naturally just here. I can even hit the button for you. This is what my monitors look like, dude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I beat your boy. The first one I got lucky on. Coming back after losing the queen. I'm not trying to play the pity card, dude, but it sucks seeing the chess.com chat. You know, between games, I'm pulling it up. People fucking being dicks. You know. They're accusing you of using chat? I don't think so. I don't really know what they're accusing me of doing. You guys are on my left monitor, but I hide you when I'm in a game. Besides, when I was practicing, I saw some of the shit y'all were recommending, and it was bad. You have an engine up on the other screen spitting out the best moves? Those take forever to do stuff, though? We're on a time limit. The best way to keep somebody interested is after they play a fucking good game to just come in and shit talk. That's, yeah. No, that's...
I think that's absolutely absurd that he can say that he was ignoring his chat even though he had it up. It's all just an absolute mess, and I think it's absurd that you can try and cover your back here after claiming that you do have your chat up, and that then after tweeting that you had the stream up. That's enough talk for now. Let's get into the game that got DrLupo banned. We start off with DrLupo on the white pieces and WolfeyVGC on the black pieces. The game opens with e4, e5, and then quickly coming into the Ponziani opening after c3. Wolfey continues with one of the most principal responses, knight f6, the Janish counterattack. DrLupo, the 600, continues with perfect book moves, playing d4. And, to be fair, most 600s, as long as they actually study the Ponziani at some point, could play up until this point. It's not far into the game, so not enough to say he's cheating. Yet. Here, the most principled continuation for black is to play knight takes e4, allowing either bishop d3, gaining tempo on the knight, having to hop it back, or with white playing d5, and then having to hop the knight back, or instead playing bishop c5, but that's a whole nother can of worms. Instead, Wolfey plays an understandable move for a 1300 and plays his bishop in front of his d-pawn to protect his e-pawn. This, although looking relatively okay, does block in the d-pawn and causes some developmental errors for black throughout the game. But we move on. The advantage is only slight for white here, and DrLupo continues with the best move, bishop d3. The move is definitely findable, and again, nothing too out of the ordinary yet, but that will come. Next, we see a trade of pawns in the centre, and then Wolfey throws in a check. DrLupo then plays the best blocking move in the position with knight c3. Again, still findable, but for a 600 to be this even, and actually better than a 1300 at this rate, is already a bit fishy. Lupo castles his king to safety, and Wolfey follows up, finding a great pin on his opponent's knight with bishop g4. Here's where the game gets a little weird. Knight d5, and alarm bells are slightly going off here. The following continuation that makes knight d5 the best move is quite hard to find, because after knight takes and then pawn takes, he then allows double pawns and even gives up his d4 pawn, which, if taken, then loses the bishop, only if he finds the move queen a4 check. Otherwise, if you don't find queen a4 check, this is an anti-positional move that just gives up a pawn. And to be fair, I don't think any 600 should be able to find this. But I don't think any 600 did find this. I think his computer did. After knight takes d4, Lupo then blunders his queen in 1, which really throws off the whole cheating allegations, don't you think? The main theory here is that he was listening to the stream, and knight takes d4 was mentioned, but perhaps he heard it the wrong way. The other theory is that this was played to throw his opponent off his tracks, to make sure that he wouldn't see that he was cheating. Unfortunately, that's not how that works though, as you can't play every move of the game practically perfectly, bar one, and still not be flagged for cheating. After the queen blunder, we are right back into Engine City. Bishop b5 check, the best move is played. And here again, you just have to wonder, if you place this in front of 100, 600 rated players, would any of them play this check instead of picking up the bishop immediately? I really don't think so. After Wolfey moves his king, DrLupo finally picks up the bishop, and Wolfey continues by bringing his bishop back to a defended square, attacking the knight. And here, I think if you gave 10 moves to any 600 on the planet, none of them would be able to find the best move in this position. No one, and I mean no one, would find the absurd-looking b4, an entire pawn sacrifice, just clean to take, and Wolfey does take it, as he should. Lupo then follows with the third best move of rook d3. Wolfey then kicks the bishop, and Lupo slots it back to c2. To be fair, if I had to take a guess, I would say that most 600s would put it on b3, just because it's defended by a pawn, but you know what? I kind of have to give this move to him. I mean, I don't. But again, I'm not the 600 with the engine. Wolfey brings his queen to e7, and Lupo then follows up with a tempo, playing rook e3. Now, bishop b2 lines up Lupo's bishop with Wolfey's queen, and threatens knight e6 check, picking up the queen. The 1300 rated Pokemon legend sees this, and plays queen g5. Lupo then follows up again with the best move with rook g3, just giving up the d-pawn. And again after bishop b3. Wolfey then puts his queen on e4 in the middle of the board. Then here is where I absolutely flipped. Knight c2, the best move in the position, was played by DrLupo. This move is exceptional for a couple of reasons, and definitely unfindable by a 600. One, it's a retreating move, and most players around the 600 range don't like to move their pieces backwards at all. A more common move in this position, or at least a move that looks a bit more sensible for a rating of 600, would be knight f3. And honestly, probably what most players would play. But knight c2 is just incredible. It attacks the bishop, and it creates a threat of bishop takes on g7 check, picking up the rook as well. Wolfey plays f6 to block the bishop's vision on the g7 square. Then Lupo follows up with the best and only move to keep such an advantage in the position, with rook e3. This move just wins the bishop outright, as even if the queen tries to move to h4 to maintain contact with the bishop, after g3 and bishop e6, there's no way for black to maintain the contact in between the queen and the bishop, therefore losing the bishop outright. White, in a shocking turn of events after losing a queen, is now up in the position according to Stockfish. Wolf gives up the bishop and plays queen g6, just accepting his fate. After Lupo takes, he then follows up with rook e8, contesting the open file. Lupo then plays another best move, with rook g3. So Wolf brings his queen to e4, looking for mate ideas. Lupo defends with the best move again, and I'm almost tired of saying that. Wolfey kicks the knight, and Lupo comes up with the only move in the position to maintain such an advantage again. This 600 is just doing ridiculous things, and there's no way that anybody of his level could find half of these moves. Wolfey threatens his opponent's bishop with a4. So, instead of moving it, Lupo plays knight takes c7, attacking the rook, completely ignoring the threat on the bishop. Unfortunately for Wolfey, he blunders in the position, attacking the knight with his rook. Here, he needed to find a string that I'm not even sure 1500s could find, let alone 13. Maybe Lupo, but we all know why. Lupo follows up with the only move in the position, now claiming a 4.5 point advantage on Stockfish. A mere 18 moves ago, he completely lost his queen, yet now he's up 4.5 points. I don't know about you, but I'm starting to get a little bit tired of this narrative. Here, Wolfey's queen is practically trapped, hence the 4.5 point advantage. So he gives it up and tries to trade it off for the bishop. And as any normal 600 would play in this position, Lupo, instead of taking the queen, plays knight e6 check. I don't care who you are, unless you are Magnus Carlsen, if there is a free queen on the board, 99.9% of the time you are taking that queen. If this isn't enough proof, aside from the fact that his chess.com account got banned for fair play and his tweet, and the fact that he got kicked out of the tournament, then I really don't know what to tell you. After his king moves, Lupo plays a second intermediate move with rook takes g7 check, still leaving the queen just able to be taken. Finally, bishop takes e6 is played, but only when the engine gives the thumbs up. Wolfey then takes back, and then bishop f3 is played, another incredible move from the 600, lining up many ideas of mate. Now, after rook f8, there's a mate in 4 on the board, so I'm sure you know how this goes. Bishop h5 check, rook f7, rook takes f7, rook d8, and then rook takes h7, discovered checkmate. As an honest fan of amateur chess, tournaments, and anything that really brings more people to the sport, this was an absolutely ridiculous sighting, and really quite hard to watch. It was difficult to see somebody who'd been preparing for this tournament and really into the whole culture now just be wiped by somebody with an engine who then said that it was within his own integrity that he dropped out of a tournament that he got kicked out of. To be frank, I'm quite upset. Just to top it off for you, if you need any more proof, here is the accuracy graph for the game. I just think that this is absolutely blatant evidence that he was cheating, regardless of all the other factors. I really can't believe I'm making this video. Cheating in any sort of game is already frowned upon, but cheating in a chess tournament held for charity, I'm sorry, that is diabolical. I hope I've been able to give you at least a little bit of insight into this cheating scandal, and let me know what you think down in the comments below. After this, for me, I have Wolfey taking it all the way to the top to win first place, especially after his incredible composure after facing a dirty cheater like DrLupo. I wish you all nothing but brilliancies and smothered mates. Just don't use an engine. Thanks for watching.